Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Simon here with the second part of the Bad Batch finale. We are here at the end of season 2, and I'm a little nervous. I did spot a comment. I've already uploaded my Mandalorian reaction, and whilst I was editing the first Bad Batch reaction, I went just to look through the comments, and someone just suggested that I have some tissues on hand. Makes me nervous. I got the feeling someone's going to die, and I got a feeling that someone's going to be Echo. But I could also potentially see it being Tech, but for me, it's kind of like it might be Echo, because, you know, he's the one who technically wasn't in the Bad Batch originally, and especially if they're going to get Crosshair back in, I don't know, it just feels like he's the expendable one. But I'm not going to think about it. We're channeling positive vibes into this episode. No one's going to get hurt. No one's going to die. Everyone's going to live happily ever after. And Zuko is not going to jump on any more chairs and knock them down, just in case you missed that in the last episode. Isn't that right, Zuko? Hey? Yeah? You're not going to knock any more chairs down? You going to be a good boy? He will. Anyway, let's jump in and watch the finale. Okay, so Tarkin is going to be pissed. We know that much, at the very least.
Get this car moving.
Just hide inside.
I can try to reboot the system, but I will need to plug
Like, why even risk trying to peek them? This feels like Rainbow Six Siege. I'm shouting at people, don't peek, don't peek. I suppose now they've got to cover Tech, which is fair. Tech, you have to go back, and you have to establish a romantic relationship with Fee. So don't you die. Yes! Goodbye!
They could get caught in the crossfire. I am aware. Do it.
I don't care. They are expendable.
We've got 3 ships inbound.
Where? I can't.
Yeah, he can hear them before anyone else can see him. I wonder if Sora's going to double back. Uh-oh. Oh no. Go, go, go. Nice shot. God damn, with a blaster pistol. Oh, don't you do this. Shit, that's the front. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Yeah, Wrecker's not the one to send.
Any shift in weight could send both of these cars over.
He better not cut himself off.
Must sever the connection hinge. Now!
Don't do it. No.
There is no time, Wrecker. And 99.
No. Don't you do it.
When have we ever followed orders?
For God's sakes, I knew they were going to do this. Fucking arseholes. You finally give him some fucking character development and then you kill him off, you arseholes. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm more angry than I am sad right now. It's a noble sacrifice and all, but damn, like, we'd only just started getting some character development.
Head to Old Mantell. AC can help us. Hurry!
Mantell? You don't want to be going to Mantell. That's where Sid is.
You're okay.
Don't
Oh, look at his neck brace. Yeah, I'm kind of genuinely angry at this. It just feels like they set him up
Do that.
with character development just to kill him.
He did
Tech put the squad
I'm like, I get it.
ahead of himself.
You know,
He made a
saved
sacrifice, Omega,
his family,
and we're not
but still,
wasted.
What does it mean?
he had potential.
See, we can figure out along the way.
So they're not going after Crosshair.
Is that something you want?
Why didn't they just go to Pabu straight away? Like, why Sid?
Here,
Knowing that
this one's on the house.
there's bad blood there. Oh, look at that. The Empire's here. Maybe Sid sold them out.
Do you copy? Wrecker.
Because why would she do that?
What did you do?
What do you think she did?
Sorry, muscles.
I've just noticed the emblem on those drink bottles is the same as the Amnesty emblem in the New Republic.
Omega, you and AZ need
Like, I get the feeling at this point, this is a finale. There is no season 3, and they are just picking off the clones to get Omega away. And I don't quite know how I feel. Yeah. Fuck them Republic Commandos. Imperial Commandos. Clone Commandos, whatever you want to call them. Fuck them.
The Empire thanks you for
Yeah. I really hope Sid dies here. Like, honestly, Hunter just put one between her eyes.
our business is done. What was his name?
Don't you dare invoke his name.
Tech.
I hope Omega puts one through his eyes. So it's up to Echo and Omega to salvage this. So I think it's clear we're definitely not getting any Crosshair now. Oh damn, an ATST.
Correct. Nalisay is alive,
I mean, he's right about that, but
as you will be.
there's no way he lets Hunter and Wrecker live, knowing that they'd come after him.
Omega, look out!
Ah, well. Damn, that's an interesting walker. It's like a proto ATST.
Do the opposite.
He's taken it over. Yes!
Echo, gotta be Echo.
I love the way he just breaks him, you know. Uh-oh. Time to leave. And hey, if you run into Sid along the way and shoot her, that would be awesome. Oh. So Season 3 becomes a search for Omega, which will tie into Crosshair as well. God damn, the Imperials are so bad at stopping ships leaving orbit. I mean, you should have gone to Pabu.
To get her back.
Why you would go back to Sid, I've got no clue.
Until we do.
You will reconsider working on the Emperor's project.
What
That is a threat.
is not possible?
Omega will suffer the consequences.
Yep, see? It's a threat. And it's clear what he wants. He wants to be able to clone his own body. Or he wants to make Force users. I don't know.
But not me.
I don't
Oh.
know you.
No?
Is that her? Is that her? She
You
is.
might know me better than you think.
She's Omega.
We're sisters, Omega.
She's a clone as well. I kind of had a feeling, since she had the same accent, that she might be a clone. Yeah, I fear that my my content for this episode is not going to be the best for the purpose of making a reaction video, because there was large parts of that episode where I was just silent in kind of anger, because it feels very cheap. You know, I've enjoyed this season up until this episode, and it's not to say that it's bad, but it feels cheap, and I question the decisions of the Bad Batch here. Feels a bit out of character for them, because, I mean, firstly, setting up the character death in the first 5 minutes it felt really anticlimactic in a way. You know, because then that leaves me with the rest of the 20-minute episode just harboring all of those ill feelings, you know, which does detract, for better or worse. It does detract from the rest of the episode and the enjoyment of the episode. But the idea of the Bad Batch going back to Sid, I can't in a million years imagine why, when they can go to Pabu and they know, firstly, that they have bad blood with Sid, that, you know, she is likely to sell them out. And that's exactly what happened. Because, you know, Sid, as it's been established, has no loyalty. So I really do have issues with them taking that course of action. You know, I know that Tech is the smart one, but Hunter has a lot of wisdom. His wisdom should have been saying to him, don't go toward Mantell. Don't go to Sid. It'll end up bad. And it did. You know, but I mean, really, the crux of my issues with this episode is the cheapness of them killing off Tech, because we finally got some really good character development for Tech in this episode, in this season, should I say, but it feels like it was all done just for the purpose of getting that emotional pull when killing him off, and that to me means that they were never genuinely interested in developing Tech. You know, as someone who's very different, someone who, you know, I would say is clearly on the spectrum. You know, it feels like they've used that as a cheap tool to garner an emotional reaction at the very end, which could have been done in many different ways. You know, like, out of all of the Bad Batch, he's the one who I want to see have that development, because it's so very rare now that you see someone who, like Tech, has, you know, issues integrating with society, has issues with social interactions, who in his own right is extremely intelligent and valuable to the team, get that kind of focus and that development, and to have, you know, a kind of genuine happy moments, which, you know, I assumed he was going to develop a relationship with Fee, and that never came to pass. And, you know, again, that feels cheap to me. It feels like they were trying to trick us into believing that this is where it was going, building up this character, building up that potential relationship, and building up, you know, our hopes and dreams for a character who we sympathise with because he's different, and then killing him off. You know? And not even doing it in a kind of way where the episode focus led to that. It was kind of like, it happened, and then we moved on. We had a quick scene where Omega, you know, felt very sad about it, but then it was boom, straight into the rest of the episode. Omega gets kidnapped, you know, they get, you know, captured, whatever, done. You know, it just feels very cheap. And, yeah, I'm not happy with it. I'll be honest, this is the, one of the few times where I think that they've misstepped with the Bad Batch. And, you know, maybe I'm coming to realise that, you know, maybe Dave Filoni isn't as untouchable, or as... He's prone to mistakes. He's prone to making wrong decisions. You know, I think people have started to see it a little bit with the likes of The Mandalorian. And certainly Clone Wars was no straight, you know, kind of 10 out of 10. It definitely had its issues, as did Rebels. But the overall quality of those shows really covered up, you know, whatever issues there might have been. But I feel like now we're starting to thin out the content, and we're starting to focus more on the specifics of each, show, some of those cracks are now really starting to appear. And, again, it's not to say that I think, they're now terrible writers or, they're making, like, terrible decisions, but the mistakes are starting to appear. And they're more prevalent when, you have shows like this because, it's, the Clone Wars, you're dealing with, characters that you can't really touch because they're established in the main, saga films. And any other characters, might be bit part characters because the clones, they came and went, other than maybe Rex, the likes of Fives and Echo, those were the core characters that remained relatively untouched throughout the most part, but you'd always have these side characters popping up that they could do with what they want. They could kill them, they could have those emotional moments, and you don't mind that in those one-off episodes because you don't really attach. There's not really been much development with them, but they do enough in the individual episodes to make you feel bad for them. Whereas in a show like this, they've spent 2 seasons. The first season, Tech barely got a look in when it comes to development. This season, it really did kind of start to focus on his development, but it just feels like it was all for that moment to kill him off, and that just kind of makes it feel cheap, especially with them. It makes it feel like they've manipulated the idea of, taking this, person with these social problems, trying to make him more human and trying to make us sympathize with him, and empathize with, people who might struggle in those kinds of situations. And then they just kind of used it as bait to kill off a character and get a cheap emotional moment. That kind of, that annoys me more than anything, If it had been like Wrecker, it would have been really, really sad. But I mean, what does Wrecker's character do other than be the big brute who's also a bit childlike, and has the odd funny moments? It's like, you would get the same emotional reaction out with that, and you wouldn't lose as much, and it wouldn't feel as cheap. I'm not saying that I wanted Wrecker to die. I don't want any of them to die. But if you have to sacrifice a member of the team, he would have made the most sense from that point of view, because you would have gotten the same kind of emotional, feeling. You would have still gotten that sadness, especially with the way they kind of just brushed it off as well. I'm kind of in a bit of disbelief at how it just felt a bit, right, he's dead now, let's focus with the rest of the episode, let's go and make sure that, the rest of the crew get captured and whatnot, and now, oh no, Omega's been captured, and it's like, okay, so we're just going to move on. I don't know, really conflicted with this one, so, I'd love to get your feedback and your thoughts in the comments. By all means, again, if you enjoyed it, more power to you. It just wasn't for me. And it's sad because this has ended on a really sour note for me after a really good season, And I'll still watch. There's clearly going to be a season 3. I'll still watch, but I don't know. It's just, the longer things go on, the more difficult it is to kind of cover over the cracks, And that's really how I feel, things are going at the moment. Not just for the Bad Batch, but it just feels like in general, the longer we keep having these shows go on, the more they start to falter a little. But I'll give it some time and see how I think. My thoughts might change on it, but not at the moment. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will, we'll see you for Season 3, definitely, but we've got other stuff coming up. We've still got The Mandalorian, got Ahsoka later in the year, Skeleton Crew, but not much in the line for animation, which is sad. So we'll see what happens. Visions, I suppose Visions, but that's more of a side project for the anime studios, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you for watching.